I don't know about you, but I'm one of those kinds of people that has trouble remembering what happened yesterday, let alone what happened when I was a kid. My brother is exact opposite. He can remember what happened when he was 9 months old in the crib, and he can describe what the weather was like. But for me, I don't know what I had for lunch yesterday, let alone trying to remember when I first got into fragrance. My earliest memories are when I was really young and my father was shaving and using English leather, and somewhere around the age of 7 or 8 years old when I became really fascinated with fragrance, and what cologne was, what perfume was. Can you recall what age you were when you first smelled a fragrance or a cologne or got interested in it? Or maybe how old you were when you got your first bottle of fragrance, whether you purchased it or it was gifted to you by someone. Hey guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here, and today's video is all about youthful fragrances. There's quite a few fragrances out there that are marketed for youth, but that doesn't mean that they're successful. But today I've picked out 10 fragrances that were successful in their creation of a blue youthful fragrance. So whether you're a skater boy or Magic the Gathering is your thing, you are sure to find a youthful blue that's perfect for you in this list. Got that and more coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Don't click away. I think you may have just stopped by for a quick second and didn't intend to stay, but I want you to stick with me today because I've got some fragrances that you may be interested in checking out. Now, if you're older, and if you're well established, if you've got your hallowed halls of fragrance already set up, you've got your mood lighting, your LED lighting. As soon as you walk in the room, it's temperature controlled and the lights come on and the music fades in, then you probably already know about these fragrances and you don't need my help to curate them. But whether you're just getting started with fragrances or you're a little bit curious or you've been around for a long time and you just want a refresher, I've got 10 fragrances that I feel are a good representation of what youthful needs are in terms of a blue fragrance. So let's check out the first of these 10 fragrances. The first youthful blue that I want to turn your attention to is one from Jimmy Choo. It is Jimmy Choo Aqua. Really what I like about Jimmy Choo Aqua and what makes it so youthful and energetic is it's a lighter kind of aquatic fragrance. This would make a perfect high heat fragrance. And if you're a young person out there, either just getting started in fragrances or you've just got your first job mowing lawns or building fences or roofing, something where you're out in that midday sun, you're sweating, you're hot, but you still have places to go and things to do, this is the kind of fragrance that you want to wear. It's going to stay with you because it's not as affected by high heat as some other fragrances. It's a lighter fragrance. It opens up with cardamom and grapefruit, kind of a good combination there. In the heart, you've got geranium, clary sage, and marine notes. So that's where the kind of aquatic feel comes into play, and it's a great example of a modern aquatic. My next exciting youthful blue is one from Yves Saint Laurent in the very popular Y line Y Eau de Toilette. Now this is the 2022 version, the reformulation. People that are into fragrances kind of groan over reformulations because nobody likes change, right? And when you get used to a fragrance, the worst thing that can happen, especially if it's your favorite scent or your signature scent, is for the brand or the house to change it up, to reform it. But they actually did an excellent job in YEDT. Not only is it more ginger and more aldehydic, and not only does it carry itself for longer and perform better, but I think it even smells better. Bergamot, ginger, lavender, clary sage, geranium. It's just a well-known fragrance DNA, but really at the core of what makes this so great, I think, is that combination of frankincense, amber, and vanilla. 3 of my favorite character actors in any fragrance, really. But in a blue fragrance, it's what gives it a dark edge to it, and they've moderated those notes perfectly in YEDT, and it's got that really nice, light, dry, fruity, youthful bearing that makes it such a great, energetic, creative, youthful, vibrant fragrance, and that's why I recommend it as a youthful blue. If you've ever been in a shopping mall, you've likely smelled this fragrance. If you walk by Abercrombie and Fitch, at some point you're going to smell Fierce. A lot of people don't realize that Fierce has more hats, we'll say, than just your basic standard Fierce, and one of the better ones is Fierce Blue. Yes, another youthful blue fragrance wearing that Fierce DNA. This is kind of sorta a blue aquatic fragrance. There's something called Sea Breeze that's in here. No, it's not the astringent that you use on your face if you have pimples. If you're a teenager, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, if you were a teen growing up in the 90s, or the late 80s, you know what sea breeze is. But in this case, it's an aroma chemical for aquatic, and you've got white, amber, and lavender. So it's a very light blue fragrance, but it does have that characteristic fierce sharpness, that kind of clary sage lavender combination. While this definitely smells like fierce, when you smell it, you'll automatically think of them all. It's different enough to feel like it's its own standalone fragrance, very different from the original fierce. So when you want something that's a good balance of familiar and unique, then I would highly recommend to check out Fierce Blue. This next Youthful Blue came out in 2021. It's one of the best from Giorgio Armani in the Acqua di Gio line, which is the best-selling men's fragrance of all time, pretty much. It's actually a flanker of one of my favorite of the Acqua di Gio, and that's Profundo. It's Profundo Lights. What I tried to find to curate these blue fragrances, what makes them youthful, is that there's just a bit of an edge of vibrancy and playfulness in all of these. Profundo Lights is no different. It's really a combination of rosemary, cypress, mastic, and some balsamic notes that give it the tremendously vibrant kick that makes it Profundo Lights, which is much different than just your standard Profundo, which is an awesome fragrance as well, but you take a little bit of the maturity from Profundo when you put the lights to it. The lights are where the action is at and where the playfulness is at. Not only do you continue that dry vetiver, that sourced, very rich, very high quality patchouli, but it also has a really nice cedarwood background for all of that to kind of sink into. Giorgio Armani creates a really high quality fragrance for a designer. So if you want something that's going to be like a long lasting fragrance as a signature scent that you're going to be able to rely on, that will remain unchanged for likely many years to come, then you definitely want to check out Acqua di Gio Profundo Lights. What do you think about having the note of mochaccino in a fragrance? Well, I don't know about you, but I accept coffee in any form, and in particular in fragrance form. I really enjoy the note of mochaccino or coffee in a fragrance when it's done right. When you add bergamot, cedar, and balsam fir along with that very rich mochaccino note, you do end up with a blue fragrance. It's not going to be actually a gourmand fragrance, but it's going to be a very energetic, revitalizing Angel for Men Ultimate, or Amen Ultimate by Mugler. I think people are slowly coming to realize just what a fantastic fragrance Amen Ultimate is, because you see it everywhere. It seems to be outdistancing a lot of Mugler fragrances in the Angel for Men line. Either they have an abundance of, or people are really coming to love. And I, for one, really enjoy this. What makes it youthful, again, it's got that kind of light, playful edge to it that gives it that youthful feel. Green is my favorite color, any variation of green, and this is kind of like a mint green in color. And when you smell this, it's got like almost like a minty, and that's the balsam fir along with the mochaccino in the background. It's almost got like a peppermint patty kind of effect. So it has somewhat of a hot cold effect. There's something about this that when I put it on, I can get whatever I need done for the day, and I can do it with style. And that's why it made my list of 10 quality youthful blues. Angel for Men Ultimate. There aren't too many fragrances that carry that urban feel better than the actual fragrance called Urban Feel by Salvatore Ferragamo. Urban Feel is, like the name implies, it feels like a modern, youthful, on-the-go, modern, masculine trope built into the fragrance, so you don't ever have to worry about it smelling like something else. It is its own thing. It's not mimicking anything else. It doesn't smell like anything else. So it's very unique in that respect. It puts sage and sea salt together in the very open. Like, it opens straight away as a very spicy, eye-opening experience. Cumin, driftwood, cedarwood, labdanum, ambroxan, and then patchouli in the base. Now, I talked yesterday about cumin and how it smells like sweat and how it adds a layer of attraction. This is very similar in this fragrance, though I wouldn't call it a date night fragrance. It's more in line with a t-shirt and jeans, kickback, casual kind of youthful, vibrant, creative fragrance. So that's the category that this is in. So if you're looking for something that's kind of a on-the-go Energizer Bunny kind of fragrance that just goes and goes and keeps on going, because this performs really well, then make Urban Feel your next blue cologne. You ever go to the doctor's office or somewhere that has you fill out a form to kind of find out where you are, get a snapshot of your health or whatever, and one of the questions is, how often do you drink? Do you just drink socially? And it gets you to thinking, yeah, I only typically drink in social occasions. Well, why is that the case? Well, most people like to drink when they're around other people because it loosens them up a bit. They can not be so uptight and makes them more conversational. And so that's why I feel like it's a fitting presentation for this next blue fragrance to be in the form of a cocktail shaker. And it's Cocktail Edition for Him by Pepe Jeans. Not only is it a cocktail shaker, and I really like the big, huge atomizer, super easy for big, beefy hands like mine to work, but I want you to notice something about the presentation. There's actually a really cool midline gradient in the fragrance. You've got yellow that gradates into a blue. I guess from the top down, you've got blue that gradates into a yellow, light green, whatever color that is. The reason I bring that up, it's a cool representation of what the fragrance actually does, because Cocktail Edition for Him is another one of those great high heat fragrances that's perfect for summertime, or it's perfect for a quick grab right out of the shower. You know, you got to run somewhere and you need something to keep you fresh for a little while. It opens with grapefruit, yuzu, violet. In the heart, it's got this strange thyme note that pairs really well with specific kind of ginger that's used. So it definitely has a bold projection straight from the atomizer. Got some cedar woods, moss, and dry woods in the background, but overall what you get is just a really fruity, yuzu oriented fragrance. It's just a very nice slice of fruit in your day that just gives you the kind of energy that you're looking for a quick outing. Another t-shirt and jeans casual fragrance, but don't let that keep you from making it a signature scent if you want to. Pepe Jeans of London is a great designer for youthful oriented fragrances, and Cocktail Edition for Him is an excellent one. For our next Youthful Blue, I'm going to give some attention to this fragrance because when it first came out, a lot of people kind of poo-pawed it and said, it's terrible. But it's actually a really good fragrance overall, and it's a Paco Rabanne fragrance. Paco Rabanne's well known for making youthful-oriented fragrances, and this is a very vibrant green one, Phantom Legion, and Legion is just camo. Just think of it in terms of the presentation having camo on the silver as opposed to just all silver. But the juice is exactly the same. They basically swaddled this presentation into a electronic wonder, you know, that you could do all this stuff online with it. And they were trying and they were hoping to garner the attention of the younger, savvy audience by doing this. And I think what happened is it backfired. Instead of that bringing in the sales, it kind of made it look like a fumbling cash grab that didn't work really well. But that doesn't mean Phantom's not a good fragrance. And that's why I want to shine the light on it today, because I feel like overall, if you're looking for a creative, a vibrant, inspiring blue-green fragrance, this is one of the better ones out there, one of the better quality ones. When you first spray this on, it feels like you're going to drown in the syrupy sweetness, but that actually is purposeful. Folded up like an origami crane within that sweetness is a very high quality fragrance. It's like an ink stain on a white shirt. It starts out tiny, but then it just burgeons and spreads and spreads, and that's what this does. As that sweetness kind of unfolds and dries off, you get this wonderfully blooming fragrance. So if you're looking for a banger that lasts for a very long time, definitely check out Phantom. This next fragrance is by Carolina Herrera, and it is very clearly an attempt to market a fragrance for a specific youthful ideology because it's in the shape of a skateboard. It is 212 Men Heroes, Forever Young. It's actually a really good quality fragrance. It is a bit reminiscent to the sweetness and the green of Phantom, but where Phantom is all aces in green, this is all aces in blue and light aquatic. What I really like about Heroes is it combines ginger and pear in the open, you've got sage and geranium in the heart, and then you've got leather and musk in the base. If you're a younger person out there and you've worn yourself out looking for fragrances and you've worn your nose out because everything starts to smell the same, you've smelled pretty much the entire catalog of Calvin Klein, they all start running together, this is the kind of fragrance that you'll really like. Carolina Herrera makes a very high quality product, similar in a lot of ways to Giorgio Armani or Christian Dior. This is more of a high-end fragrance for young people. 212 Men is a great line. 212 Men Heroes, Forever Young is not only a great sentiment, but the skateboard is cool. The presentation is really cool. You know, you've got this glass that you can see through to the juice, and you've got this whole silver thing going on. Your atomizer comes out on the front of the skateboard, and you just depress it here. It sprays a good bit of juice too. I think this is one of the, it kind of came out and people said, oh, okay, that's cool, I like the presentation, and then we moved on. But the fragrance is actually a really good quality fragrance. I think it is underappreciated, and that's why I wanted to bring it up in this list, specifically for the young or the young at heart, or really anyone interested in something fresh, new, vibrant. 212 Men Heroes would make a great addition. All right, the last of our 10 youthful blues. That is blue fragrances that have that kind of playful edge to them, that are really excellent quality, that would stand alone as a signature scent or a quick dumb reach, quick grab. This one is actually from the house of Prada. It is Prada L'Homme L'Eau. Like Prada L'Homme, except a little bluer, a little brighter actually. So while you do still get that very laundry fresh sensation and feeling out of this, that's one of my favorite aspects of L'Homme. It's almost like washing your clothes in Tide and suddenly you use Gain. You know, it still smells great. It just is great in a different way, a little bit brighter. Tropical Island Gain. Also a really nice introduction into a lighter iris that's not going to feel really makeup-y, it's not going to feel feminine at all. Doesn't even feel floral. It just adds to the overall laundry fresh linen quality of the fragrance, and it beefs it up quite a bit, and again adds a little bit of a brightness to that soft, downy, fresh, dry sensation that we all know and love in laundry fresh fragrances. Prada L'Homme is an epic fragrance. Prada L'Homme L'Eau is like Prada L'Homme's kid brother. It has that little bit of a playful edge to it, and that's why I recommend it as a youthful blue. Well, there you have it. If you're a young person out there and you've been looking for 10 fragrances or even one fragrance that's blue and perfect for you, perfect for everyday situations and occasions, that is more unique like you want to be, these are 10 perfect examples of that. And they're all very inexpensive, very affordable. But what about your opinions of these? Do you own any of these? Let me know what your thoughts are. Or if there are other youthful blues out there that you really appreciate the young, kind of lightly edgy or playful aspect about them. Let us know what those are in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by, checking out today's video. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.